It is Saturday Night Live, y'all. Good evening, good evening, good evening to everybody. I am just like really, really done. Okay. About to want to go in my beddy. Bye bye. But before I go, I did a lot of posting today, on a lot of stuff that I've been researching for the last 7 years. And if you've been following me here on the Casey McDaniel platform, I spoke on these things. I didn't speak too much on it. I just went over some of the stuff that I had. And remember when I stayed quiet for a very long time, I stayed quiet, away from YouTube and away from a lot of conversation around R. Kelly. And, especially since he's been, that news, that heartbreaking news. When I heard that what happened to him at the prison, I was like, oh my God, I'm crying, I'm pouring out crying. Remember, I was saying I was going to be reaching out to him on some things, but then I did reach out to him. I reached out to him. I never got any responses from R. Kelly, and it's probably for my own good. It's for his own good anyway. But I'm sure he's been reading a lot of stuff I've been sending to him. You know what I'm saying? Like telling him or sending to him, and then some things I got to be very careful because I don't know how his meal is being, you know, given to him. Because they go in their mail when you send letters and all that other stuff. They do go in they in prisoners' meals. Because how I know is because when my nephew died, then I had to send my brother a obituary. They sent it back because he said he couldn't have the obituary because it was some gang signs in it. And I was like, it wasn't no gang signs in the obituary. So they opened their mail, and I know that. And my brother was doing time with the feds. Okay, so they do things like that. So you got to be very careful what kind of mail you send to R. Kelly. But most of my mail that I send to him is mostly spiritual stuff, things to keep him lifted in prayer and encouragement and everything, letting him know that people are out here that care about him. His fans care about him. Well, his senior fans anyway. I kept it on that level. I don't want them to think no. If they, in case they do open up his mail and read it, they see that his fan is a senior. Okay, I'm not a little young girl. I might look young. I might act young, a little young. I still got a little young. A lot of young spirit in me, but I got to be kind of quiet because my husband's sleeping, so I got to be quiet. But anyway, like I said to you all, I've been doing a lot of posting, but what I posted there is that please do not go online or go on the internet, get the motions and start reading everything out on the platform. Don't do it. Even though some people probably already started doing it, but I'm just giving you the warning. Okay? And these are the reasons why R. Kelly's been denied. Okay? Because people been taking a lot of these court documents, going online and reading it on their platforms for clout. Reading it because they want to get the attention that they want to get, but they not thinking about R. Kelly. They just looking for their own, way of gaining, financially gaining, profiting off of his pain. And if you care about a person, especially a person in R. Kelly's situation, you're not going to put that type of information out on the platform, especially when you know how they just looking for a way just to have him in jail in industrial slavery, making music and not getting paid for it, writing for all these artists out here. We know that's going on. And that's why I put it out there. That song Residue. R. Kelly's not going to come and do a remix on a song unless he's the one who wrote the song. I know how R. Kelly thinks. And now, from what I understand, Chris Brown is in some trouble out in UK, and he's been hit again with some more charges. So, people out here trying to give this young man, I mean, Chris, he might have some talent. You know what I'm saying? He might have some talent, but he's nowhere near R. Kelly, nowhere near him, and I doubt if he ever would be. Yes, he probably can perform, sing. He's good looking. A lot of young girls out there. His fan base is still young. And people going to try to like, oh, this is their time. But R. Kelly got the whole game sold out. He knows that. That's what they mad about. They want this man not to own his own music and have the rights of his own music. So they're going to do everything they can to destroy his image, but try to profit off of him. But don't they want to control him? They want to control it. This was a real, I'm just gonna say they did the same thing to Prince. They did it to Michael Jackson. They did it to Whitney. They did it to a whole lot of other artists. And one artist that a lot of y'all may or may not know about is this artist Curtis Mayfield. Curtis Mayfield was the R. Kelly back in the '70s and everything. He was writing for everybody, everybody. And I don't even think that concert he had in New York and Brooklyn or whatever, and that thing fell on him was an accident. I think it was a way to kill him. And the songs out here that artists was singing that he wrote. Smokey Robinson, he wrote a lot of songs for during the Motown time. Smokey Robinson was the man. Okay, making all those hits for mostly all those singers back then. With Motown, Smokey Robinson was the man. Okay, he was the greatest artist. They just don't want to see black men own nothing in this country that belongs to them. And that's just the wickedness that it is. And this is what this whole fight is all about. It's not just about R. Kelly. And that's what some people need to understand that. I've been watching, I've been not only just doing research on things about R. Kelly, I've been doing research on a whole lot of other artists. And Marvin Gaye. Now I'm not gonna say Marvin Gaye wrote a lot of music, but Marvin Gaye was the man back in the '70s. Okay, all the way up until somewhere in the '90s when sexual healing it came out in the '80s. Sexual healing was in the '80s. Yeah, and then all of a sudden his father shot and killed him because his father that's another story. You could go and watch documentaries on it or whatever. I'm not going to sit up here and talk about it because it just breaks my heart. And it just breaks my heart because Marvin Gaye was like my father's. That was his gospel. Okay. And I shared the story on my page. My father's birthday was just this July 11th. And that was the same day that in July 11th of 2019 is when R. Kelly was taken in by the feds. July 11th was the day they came and got R. Kelly. And that was the day of my father's birthday, July 11th. 1936. Okay, so you do the math on his age if he was still alive. But that's the memory I have of my father. Every time I want to celebrate my father, I play Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye is the face. He's like he was the music in my home, and that's why I shared that story. If any of you watching my community wall, I'm putting all that information out there for you. You want to know about Casey McDaniel. You want to know about what some things that I wanted to talk about of R. Kelly. I don't like to do too many videos. I mean, I've done enough videos, okay? I've done enough videos, and I just don't want the drama and all that other stuff in the chat going on. So I like to just post it on the community wall. You can read it. You can like it, comment on it, whatever. Just like I told Rated R, I'm not going to come to your platform and have this conversation. I'm just not going to do that because I'm not looking for clout, and I'm definitely not um here for any drama. Okay, I'm trying to stay as much as I can. What I share, if you have a comment, you want to ask me something, you can make a comment in the comment section. That's why I left it on my community wall. I will respond to you. I will give you the answers. I will try to answer it on a timely basis with you, and I will answer it. But people ain't going to respond to it because a lot of people don't know how to respond to things. They don't know how to say something else. Some people, they'll come out like attack me on the prima donna stuff. Come on now. We've been watching prima donna, how she been moving for the last 7 years. And nothing I said about prima donna is not true. And a lot of y'all know that. I don't get attached to personalities. I call it for what it is. I call it for what it is. When this whole thing went on with R. Kelly and when she was calling out, going after Geronda Pace and coming for all those females and saying the things, I tried trying to warn Prima Donna. I said, I don't think it's right for you to keep attacking his alleged victims. Leave that conversation alone. Leave it alone. Don't go into all the details about it. Just says, I just think she's lying and none of this stuff is true, whatever, whatever. But don't even give, because see, that was the setup right there and there, how they were setting R. Kelly up. They wanted his fans and supporters to be on this, you know, divide, division, distraction, whatever they wanted. That's what we were giving them, and that's why they were able to hit with the RICO, calling it an enterprise. One man with an enterprise. The enterprise was the fans and the supporters. That's how they put the bait out there, and you took it. You should have left any conversation around those women alone. I done it too, and I'm guilty of some of it myself, and I'm just saying. Then I figured it out. I said, you know who the enterprise is us. When we were in there attacking these women character out in the public while the trial, the investigation was going on, while they were building the case. And we went in and started the attack on these women. And I kept saying, leave it alone. Leave it alone, y'all. Don't talk about them women on here. I've been trying to give y'all the warning. I said, please stop calling out these women. Don't talk about his so-called Geronda attacking her and everything. And I try to go as nice as I can with Azarel on some things. I did try to encourage the young lady to try to pursue a career and elsewhere, and question some things of what was your motive, what was your reason for even being with a man half your age, that old. I don't care if he's a superstar, and that I questioned the parents too. And notice there was no parents that came and said anything but those parents, and those parents were shady. They were part of the setup. Where was Geronda Pace's mother? Excuse me. Where was Sparkle's niece? And none of them noticed that none of them were in the trial. Only person was in the trial was Rashonda, and they used Geronda Pace because she was going online. And yeah, she was doing some stuff too, but that's what she was set up to do. To get R. Kelly's attention, to get the attention of R. Kelly fans and supporters to come for her so that they can use that against him. See, let me tell you something about the law. And I was going to be a criminal defense attorney, but like I said, I told you a long time ago that I just took another route because I fell in love, got married, and it just threw me off my path. So, and then all the other stuff just clouded my life, and my life just took another turn. And I didn't even follow my life; I followed my husband's life, and I went into the market of business finance. Okay, but I got tired of it, even though I had my battles there. And I came out on top, sort of, kind of, whatever. I came out on top, but I got tired and I went into early education because I love being a teacher. I enjoy being a teacher, and especially teaching in early education. I enjoy the children. The children keep me in season. Okay. Everything that's going on in the season, the children help me to remind me of what season we're in. Children, they bring new things, and it's youthful. And it's just so much for me. And I love it. I love it. But I notice I have a lot of battling and going on in there because I got a lot of haters. No matter where you go, you're going to get some haters, especially when you're good at what you know, what you do. You're good at what you do. People don't like that. They don't like you to know so much. People just don't like that. That's why I play the dumb role. And I hate to play the dumb role sometimes, especially when it comes to somebody's life hanging on the line, and I'm going to sit around and just allow it to happen and then come out and call damage control. No, I try to catch it before it happens. And I do, because it could be me one day. I would like somebody to make sure that I'm, look over me, protect me if I'm in a place of falling into danger. And I notice people do that. Just like what's going on with Lola right now. Lola, the girl that came to the went viral all over about the stab, that she was stabbed up by the same girl that's now killed that manager up there in that McDonald's. That's messy. You wait until something like that had happened. Now you want to come out and claim how you've been a victim by this woman. When all along you had 2 years, Lola. 2 years. You could have came forward then and went online and talked about your incident and talked about how she tried to attempt what she did to you with a knife, how she went, you could have called injustice then when they gave her only 4 years and 1 year probation. You could have said, look, this girl is dangerous. No, I'm trying to protect this from happening to somebody else, and she just might be succeed. She came from my life, and y'all gonna let her only get 4 years? Nah, she should have been out there sounding the alarm then. Why you wait now? 2 years later, a woman is dead. A woman is in her grave. She left her 6 children behind. You know how disgusting that is? Now she's been fired from her job and she's going to talk about she's going to lawyer up. People in there already, trying to give her stupid information. Go get a lawyer. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? She's going to look dumb in that courtroom. She's going to be so crazy because you know what they're going to do? They're going to use it against her. They're going to say, you mean to tell me this happened 2 years ago and there was some kind of miscarriage of justice. And here you are now waiting until some woman is dead. And now you want to come out here and talk about your incident and then you being fired from your job and that mother is dead. And this woman been on TikTok videos and on social media doing all these crazy rants. And you mean to tell me you wasn't out there, using that as evidence of her craziness? And what she's capable of doing, even when she was making these threats, something going to be done about this. Now you want to come and tell us about your bodily harms and your life-threatening situations. They're going to throw her right on out of that courtroom. She's going to look like a fool, so she just better sit there and just go look for another job. Just go look for another job and don't even try to make a lifestyle out of it on YouTube. Don't make it the culture where people want to tell their story and get cash apps and all this stuff. Man, there's some stupid people that's going to want to help and support her, but I'm not going to support that. Now, if she would have came out earlier with this claim and with this viral video or talking about what happened to her, yeah, I would have supported her. And I would have got her, I would have been right there standing right by her side. Look, that shouldn't even be allowed. Somebody dangerously gonna stab me with a knife and then they gonna get 4 years and sentence 4 years and 1 year probation and never served any time. And the thing is that Avini, when she did it in March of 2022, she actually pleaded guilty to it. The girl pleaded guilty. Go look it up. It happened in, oh my God, I forgot what part of Virginia. I keep, I'm getting old, y'all, so I can't remember a lot of things. That's why I got to write things down. When I do talk about it, I do have to write it down because of my memory. With my memory, I start losing memory of things, but I know it has been in March of 2022 and it happened in Virginia. But what city in Virginia? I forgot what town, what county in Virginia, whatever, where this took place. And, Virginia, they play by common law. Okay, that's a common law state. So when you learn about the law, you're going to learn some places don't practice the same laws. Virginia's common law. You could walk it a certain kind of way across the street in Virginia and you could get arrested. That's common law. Okay? So every law in every state is different, but you can challenge it. If you feel you need to challenge it, you can challenge it. But anyway, y'all, your girl Casey McDaniel is very tired. I just wanted to come and bring y'all a warning not to go online and do anything with the documents that were filed in this BOP officer thing. Okay? Let's play smart this time. Don't do it. Those of you who really care for Robert Sylvester Kelly gaining his freedom and winning in this fight, don't do it. And that's all I wanted to come and tell you today. So you all have this evening. I'm sorry, not day, but it's the evening. This evening, because your girl Casey McDaniel, I am exhausted. I have my hair to do tomorrow. It's a hot mess. That's why my face ain't to the camera. I got to take out these braids, redo it, and everything. So you all have a blessed and wonderful evening. It's Saturday Night Live. Enjoy your Saturday night. And if God's willing, I may or may not be back with you again tomorrow. So you all be blessed. Peace.